Okay, so for as much as I'm excited to be slashing and slicing through as many enemies as possible in Marvel's Wolverine, there are going to be some tough foes that we're going to be going up against in this game. We already know about a couple of the villains that are actually going to appear in Marvel's Wolverine, but there are also a few that are kind of implied based on some of the things that we have seen so far. So I wanted to go over all the confirmed villains in Marvel's Wolverine that we know about, and then as well, some of the ones that we think are going to be in the game. If you're hyped for Wolverine, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and got those notifications on. There's going to be so much Wolverine content coming your way you would not believe. But all right, let's jump into this. So from the trailer, a couple of the ones that we already know about. We have seen Omega Red. He is going to be in the game, and my God, he looks so badass. I am also kind of intrigued as to how they're going to rope him into the story of this game and just how much of a threat he is going to be. He is a massive brute. He is going to do a lot of damage. We can see that much. And so I am looking forward to seeing if he's going to be kind of a recurring threat throughout the story, or if he's just going to be one of the villains that we run into and then take out. Omega Red is definitely a problem for Wolverine in the comic books, so I imagine they're going to try and translate that here in the game. And then another character that we did see in the trailer from the State of Play is Mystique. Now, we don't know for sure, actually, if Mystique is going to be a villain or is going to be on our side. I wouldn't necessarily say a hero, but maybe Mystique will be on Logan's side in this game. And the reason that I mentioned that is because of something that came from the PlayStation blog that was put up after the reveal trailer for Marvel's Wolverine during the State of Play. I talked about this in yesterday's video. You can check that video up already on the channel, but I'll mention it here again. Independence is often the way of Wolverine, although keen-eyed fans may have spotted some of the familiar faces that he'll encounter on his journey, like the elusive Mystique or the brutish Omega Red. Some will fight alongside Logan against all odds, and others will unleash all-out attacks on our hero. So okay, there you have it. It mentions that there are going to be some characters in this game that will work alongside Wolverine, and there will be some that will unleash those all-out attacks. One of them we do know, obviously, is going to be Omega Red, but maybe Mystique will be one of the people that is on our side, and I only mention that as well because when they revealed her character in the trailer, she was taking out some Reavers, who are the other villains I wanted to mention that are going to be in this game. Reavers are these mercenaries with cybernetic enhancements. We can see that they are just one of the enemy factions that we face off against throughout the entirety of this game, so they're prominently going to be featured here. And yeah, Mystique is taking some Reavers out. So is Mystique going to be a villain? Is she going to be on Logan's side? Is she going to work together with Logan? We're going to have to wait and see for that part. And there's definitely going to be a lot of Reavers that we're going to be taking out in this game. They look to be one of the main enemy factions that we go up against. So lots of cybernetic parts are going to be sliced off by my boy Wolverine. Who's going to be leading the Reavers is an interesting question that we're going to get to in just a bit. So yeah, we're going to see some Reavers. We're going to take out a lot of Reavers in this game, so that'll be fun. One thing I also wanted to mention, we do know that there's going to be the feature of a Trask Industries, and maybe alongside that is going to be coming one Bolivar Trask. Trask is the guy responsible for the creation of the mutant hunting giant robots known as the Sentinels. And yes, there is going to be a freaking Sentinel that we're going to have to take down in this game. That much was made obvious within the trailer. It was noted in the PlayStation blog that the Sentinel we're actually going to be fighting is a prototype. So this isn't a fully functioning bot just yet, and there may be some other ones out there that are saved for, who knows, an X-Men game down the line? I have no idea. And that is sort of all of the villains that we know for sure are going to be in this game based on everything that was revealed in that new trailer from the State of Play. Now we're going to get into a little bit of the speculation territory, okay? We're going to talk about some villains that seem like they're going to be in the game based on everything that's being set up here. And well, one of them, I mean, we're talking a lot about the Reavers. We know that there are going to be cybernetically enhanced individuals that we have to fight against. One of those people could be Lady Deathstrike. She is one of the most prominent Wolverine villains in the comic books. She is a Reaver herself. In some cases, she has led the Reavers, we could very much see them try to do something like that here in this game. Traditionally, we do know that the leader of the Reavers to be Donald Pierce, so we could also see Donald Pierce show up in this game as well as one of the villains for Wolverine to face off against. You know, when the Reavers were in Logan, Donald Pierce was kind of the main guy. He wasn't necessarily the main villain of the movie, but he was definitely leading the pack. So Donald Pierce, Lady Deathstrike, two characters I could very much see showing up in this game, again, based on what we are seeing being built up here. And we do know of all the different locations that we're going to be going to, whether it's, you know, the wilderness of Canada or whether it's Madripoor. We also know that we're going to be visiting Tokyo, Japan. And one of my favorite Wolverine villains, honestly, from the comic books, one that I kind of wish they did better in the movies, is Silver Samurai. It would be so sick to just have some sort of feature of that character if we're going to Japan. I would really love to see him be the villain of that section of the game. I think Silver Samurai is just so sick and could bring some amazing fight sequences and just in general a really cool boss fight for Marvel's Wolverine. So my fingers are definitely crossed that we're going to be seeing that character show up. And again, it sort of lines up considering the fact that we're going to be going to Tokyo, Japan at some point within the game. If we need some villains for this game, why not have the guy that Wolverine faces off against from Japan? And you know, while we're talking about locations and places that Wolverine is going to visit, I did mention that one of those places is the Canadian wilderness. Maybe we could see a Wendigo. This one's a bit of a reach, I understand, okay, but that is where the Wendigo in the comic books comes from and where Wolverine faces off against one. I know maybe some people wouldn't be down for that, but I don't know. I would love to see Wolverine face off against a Wendigo in this game. I think that could end up being something pretty cool. And now, lastly, this isn't necessarily a villain that was teased in any way. This isn't even a villain that I have concrete speculation towards. This is just Wolverine's main villain, and I feel like you do not make a Wolverine game without him showing up in some way, that being, of course, Sabretooth. I mean, like, you know, like, come on. Like, you just can't have this Wolverine game without Sabretooth in some way. Even if it was supposed to be like a tag at the end to tease a Wolverine 2, Sabretooth's gotta be in this game in some way, shape, or form. It would be like having a Spider-Man game without showing Doc Ock or even having like a Norman Osborn be a part of the game. These are like key pillars to the rogues gallery of the character. You gotta include them in there. So I imagine Sabretooth's gonna show up one way or another within Marvel's Wolverine. And so there you have it, all the confirmed villains that are going to be in the game so far, and a couple of them that make sense to be in the game based on what's set up and just based on my own speculation. But now I want to kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section below. Of all the villains that have been revealed so far for this game, which ones are you most excited to go toe-to-toe with? I just can't wait to see what the battle against Omega Red is going to be like. And I am also, again, really hoping that Silver Samurai pops up in this game. It would be so freaking sick. Sound off with all your thoughts in the comment section below. And also, I did want to mention really quickly that Insomniac has put out a question for the community to ask what they want to hear about, what they want to know about for Marvel's Wolverine when they provide us more information in spring of 2026. So make sure you head over to their social channels and give your thoughts on what you want to see next. With that being said, I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.